What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a quick recap of Giants Commanders on Big Blue Avenue. My name is Sam. We're just going to go over this win a little bit because, my God, we put up 31 points like a real football team. I'm not saying that this was a great win because there was a lot of things that we could have done better. But honestly, the Giants were really doing what they needed to do to win this game. I saw a lot of Saquon Barkley. He had 14 rushes for 83 yards, and he was averaging 5.9 yards per carry. And he had 4 catches for 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. It was an amazing game for Saquon, and he's definitely an honorary mention for Player of the Week this week. However, my God, we have to do the Italian hands because Tommy DeVito has not only proven himself to me per se, he's really proven himself to this Giants team that he is the guy to fill in the shoes while we need him. He is the guy who is going to be a great backup quarterback. I don't think he is a starter, at least not right now. One of the biggest things with rookie quarterbacks is that we see them do this amazing first season. And then it's because of the fact that teams really don't have a lot of tape on them for defenses to handle that quarterback specifically to the way that he plays. So, defenses are working with what they've seen from Tommy DeVito so far. Not to say Tommy DeVito is still not a good quarterback because I think that he's doing his job, but a lot of times defenses can figure out these young guys because the more they play, the more tape there's going to be on them. Overall, I loved what I saw from Tommy DeVito, and he actually is our player of the week this week. So I put in the Italian hands up in the left-hand corner there for a reason. So this is his second NFL start, 18 for 26 for 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The only problem is he was sacked 9 times. 5 touchdown passes in his first 2 starts is the most in New York Giants history. 158.3 pass rating on third down last week. Incredible. 7 and 8, 113 yards, 2 touchdowns. I saw a great backup quarterback out there with Tommy DeVito. I was just so happy with the way he was playing. Like I said in the beginning of this video, 31 points. 31 points. It's not happening often for this team that many points is put up on the board. So this was a big, big deal. I think when we even were talking last week on the show live, all of our score predictions were so low because I was like, there's no way that we're going to be putting up enough points to win this game. Because we were seeing Sam Howell just like dropping bombs, putting up points like nobody's business. But I was so impressed with the way the defense handled Sam Howell because before this, Sam Howell really wasn't turning the ball over. The Giants defense forced 6 turnovers, the most New York Giants takeaways in a single game since 2014. Like, I was so impressed with the way that this game was being played. I know that the huge argument here is whether or not the Giants should be tanking for that number 2 pick. And because of the fact that we won, we did drop down to number 5. And people like our friend Brian Attard, our honorary Cowboys fan that we have on the show pretty often, who is a fan of tanking, told us that win just set the Giants franchise back 15 years. And honestly, I understand where he's coming from wholeheartedly. And if you guys have strong opinions on this, please make sure to leave them in the comments. Let us know how you feel about tanking. But me personally, as a Giants fan who's been struggling this past season, who just hasn't been seeing the heat from this team, who hasn't been doing, the things that football teams need to do in order for me to like feel good about them, like I was so stoked to see this team win. You have no, like, I just was so excited. I could not believe what I was seeing, first of all. Like, just all of these touchdowns going up. And I was just like, oh my God, like, this is so impressive, so amazing. I was just so stoked with it. Also have to shout out Bobby Okereke on the defensive side. 14 tackles, one forced fumble, and now has 105 tackles on the season. Um, and like I said before, the turnovers. Sam Howell had 3 interceptions, and that was one of my keys to the game last week. Make sure Sam Howell turns the ball over because that's how we're going to get the ball back. And obviously, Tommy DeVito knows how to capitalize on getting the ball back. It was a huge, huge soft spot in our offense is the fact that our defense was able to get the ball to us, but we weren't able to capitalize on the turnover and then put points on the board. That's one of the major things is not only the fact that the defense stopped that team from scoring, it's that the fact that our offense is now on the field in order to put 6 points on the board, 7 if we make the field goal. So I'm just it was just very refreshing overall to see things like that happening. Um the Giants offensive line was struggling to hold some guys back. Like I said, Tommy DeVito was sacked 9 times. 9 times. That is not the amount of times that you want to see a quarterback to be sacked. So it's very obvious it is a huge, huge need of ours is offensive linemen. You know, we've taken a lot of hits. We've taken a lot of hits through this year. Evan Neal is obviously one of our problems. But overall, there's just these guys that the offensive line, it needs to be better. Could you imagine the amount of points that Tommy DeVito could have put up if he wasn't sacked 9 times? Like, if he was able to utilize those certain drives to get down the field to score. Like, I can't even imagine. I feel like we would be close to the 40. We'd be close to that Cowboys territory that they put us in last week. So I just the offensive line needs work, but the resiliency from DeVito is still. I will we'll just keep sprinkle him in this entire recap real quick because the man is our Jersey paisano. We love him. We love him over here at Big Blue Avenue. Mrs. DeVito must have put something special in those chicken cutlets, a little bit of sparkles, a little something extra to to get us through that game. And Terry McLaurin, who I mentioned last week, was not going to be a threat to this defense. 5 catches for 43 yards. And I think that also attributes to how good our defense was doing as well. The Commanders did outgain the Giants 403 yards to 292. So they were keeping the Commanders in the game. Like this game really had my heart pumping because I couldn't I was like expecting that moment where it was like we mess it up and the other team comes back and the other team wins. This didn't happen here. But I was still like this is what's going to end up happening because it happens every week. That's just the way that the Giants end up playing football. But the Giants, we were cleaning house. We swept this series, and a lot of times in the NFC East specifically, we split a lot of divisional games. Obviously, didn't happen with the Cowboys, but we swept the Commanders, and now all we have left are 2 Eagles games. The Eagles are 9-1 now. They did beat the Chiefs. I don't know how confident I feel in this team to beat the Eagles, but it's the NFC East. Really anything is possible, which I really love. And I think the overarching thing here before we wrap up is the fact that we were talking about tanking earlier. We were talking about Dable and Shane last week and their job security. After this win, I do not think Brian Dable and or Joe Shane's jobs are in trouble whatsoever. Joe Shane was more on the safer side. Dable's seat is the one who was really starting to get hot, but I genuinely feel like they're because of this win, because they're going, they have 3 wins. That's crazy. Only 3 wins on the year, but like you can see the way that he was able to shape this team. You saw the way that he was able to come out and get a divisional win not at home, and in a way, divisional win is huge, 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 especially in our division. I don't see Dable losing his job after this season, no matter what happens for the rest of the year. But it's going to be an interesting next couple of weeks. We do have the Patriots coming up, which my co-host Tom will be giving you a preview to that game. Obviously, we are pre-recording things this week because of the fact that it is Thanksgiving week. We have very hectic schedules. So that is why this is how we're doing it this week. But he will be previewing the Patriots. And then, of course, we have our bye week finally, which we've been waiting patiently for as our team is crumbling. And then, we have a pretty tough slate of games to combat. So going into Patriots week, just a little bit, happier, a little bit more confident. I feel confident about it. So I feel like, it's a good week to be a Giants fan for once. I actually was able to go outside in a Giants hoodie and not feel like a completely, utter failure of life, to be quite honest with you. But overall, great game by the Giants. I was really happy to see a win for once on a Sunday. It felt really, really good, especially a divisional one. And over here on Big Blue Avenue, we just want to wish you the happiest of holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. We hope that you all have a safe holiday. Enjoy your food. Enjoy spending time with your family. And we will be back and better than ever next week with our regular lives going into our bye week. And as my co-host Tom says, without further ado, let's go Big Blue.